Hello everyone and welcome back to the second episode of Android application development. In this episode we are going to go deeper into XML and a little bit into Java. We are actually going to be making our second view or our second screen. So let's get started. And so we're in our activity main.xml, and if you're not, you can find that in our app res layout activity main. So let's go into activity main.xml. Actually, I'm sorry, let's go back. As you can see, I added a button here because previously, yesterday, I tried to make this video and it ended up being a half hour. So I'm going to split it up into 3 parts. So I kept this button from the last video, so I just added a simple button, dragged it here, and then I went into the code, so I double clicked, went into the code, I set an ID for button 1. And next I went to Android layout width and I changed it from wrap content to fill parent. Also, Android text, I changed that to @ string / button 1. So you're gonna want to change that. And now I'm gonna have to go into what is a string. So a string is basically a system where this not text file, but this file is looking for a string from the strings file right here, the strings XML file. So this is getting the text from here, this button 1 string. So to make a string, I've already made one, so I'll make another one. To make a string for the button, you're gonna go to add string, okay. And in the name of the string, you're going to name it button 1. And for the value, you're going to make it anything you want. Second view. This is the second view. It's up to you. But I'm going to delete this string because I already have a string for button 1. I made it switch to second view. So I'm going to save it. Exit out of the strings.xml. I'm going to save the activity main.xml. And then I'm going to exit out of that because that's all we'll be needing with that today. So let's minimize this, minimize that. In the layout folder, we're going to have to create another view because that's what we want to. That's what we want the app to do. We want it to switch to the second view. So of course we only have one view, so we're going to make a new one. So we're going to go to New. You're going to first of all, you're going to right-click Layout, go to New, Android XML file. If it is not there for some reason, you can go to Other, Android XML file. And we're going to click Next. By default, your cursor should already start typing in the file text box. So in the file text box, you're going to type in the following: screen 2. It's very important that we remember the file name because we're going to have to refer to it later when we put it in the Java. I'll go into more of that later. So we're going to look for relative layout in this root element list. Relative layout. So once you have relative layout selected, you're going to go to Next, and then you're going to go to Finish. So as you can see, we have a blank view here. This is the view we were just in. And now this is our new view. Once we click this button, it's going to take us to here, after we do the Java, of course. But that's basically what we're going to try to accomplish in the next 3 episodes. So let's make the button work. You're going to open up your src folder, and you're going to open up the com.example package. In that package, you will find a main-activity.java class. Now this file is referred to as a class. Each one of these files is a class. When you want to add a class, it's going to be new class. But we won't be needing a new class just yet. So you're going to double click main-activity.java, Java's class. Sorry. So let's just go over everything from top to bottom. Everything underlined in yellow is not being used because I used it in the last video. I just didn't delete it, so we'll delete it. So this is what your Java file should look like. on the top, you'll have package com.example.app. This is just stating where everything is. So again, I used the example of a folder, Android being a folder. But now I want to use Android as being, picture Android being a binder. So we're in the binder, we're picking out stuff that we need. So public class main activity, we're stating that main activity, that's the title of this class. Excuse me. Extends the binder. Now what does that mean? Now in that binder, we are only opening the folder main activity, but we want everything in Android. We don't just want the main activity. So we're going to extend it to the whole binder. That's basically what this means. Don't worry if you don't understand that. It's really not important for what we're doing right now. So moving on. When this class is first started on create, we're going to set the content view. I've already went over this a little bit earlier, but setting the content view basically means, okay, basically Android saying, okay, I started the app. What do you want me to display? Okay, Android, we want you to display the activity main file. As you can see, res.layout. We're going into the layout folder now, and it's going to go to activity main, and that is right here. And it's going to display whatever activity main has to display. So we want to have that button start a new class, which will set a different content view. So we're going to have to make a button. So I'm going to type up this first line of code. So just follow along and type in the same thing I'm typing in, and then I'll go over it after I am done. So here we go. So again, just keep typing everything I'm typing for this first line. Okay. You should have everything written down, what I just typed here. Not written down, but typed in here where I just typed it. So if you have this written correctly, you should have an error here and an error here. So it's giving us an error because we don't have the import. We didn't import it. So what that means is we didn't tell Android that we needed that in order for the class to work. So we need to import the button. So you're just going to put your cursor over button, and it's going to tell us the error. It cannot be resolved. So we're going to import it. We're going to import button. And now we have a yellow underline, which basically means we're not using it. Remember when I said we're not using some stuff? I wasn't using some stuff up here, so it was underlined in yellow. This is basically saying the same thing. We haven't used it yet. So button, we have to tell, what is the first button? This is the name of the button, like a nickname. Excuse me. Okay, so Android is asking, what is the nickname, the first button? We have to tell it, Android, this is a button. It's not a picture. It's not a text field. It is a button. And again, we have to say it here. It is a button. Okay, you told me what it's a button. Where is this button? So now we have to tell Android, okay, you can find the button by its ID. Remember, we gave it an ID earlier. We gave the button an ID. This is the ID. Remember, button 1, Android ID button 1. So we're going to go back to the Java, and we're going to put in r.id.button1. So you shouldn't have any errors as up to here. So next I'm going to start typing more code. You're going to type it in too. I'll go over it. Okay. Okay. If you did what I did and did the little mini menu and you double click that, this should come up with an error. Just put a semicolon. That'll fix the problem. Okay. So I just typed in this line of code. So the first button we're referring to that. See how they're both selected? They're both outlined. It's a pretty cool way to tell you which stuff is connected. So we're assigning a click listener. So it's basically what it's saying. We're assigning something to watch to see if it's going to be clicked. So when I click it, it's telling the click listener that's going to tell the class the button has been clicked. So we got to assign a click listener. We have to make a new click listener. Okay, so when the click listener discovers the button has been clicked, what do you want it to do on the click? And there's nothing here. This is a comment, so we're going to just delete that. That's nothing. So this is the space where we tell the button what to do when it's been clicked. So we want it to switch the view. So we're going to have to make another class. So you're going to right-click your package, New, and then click Class. And the name of the class, you're going to name it Button. And now you'll see another Java class has appeared. Next, we're going to delete everything in the button class. We're going to go back to main activity class. And we're going to select everything. We're going to copy it. We're going to go back to the button class. And we're going to paste it. Then we're going to save it. So basically, we just took everything in main activity and just copied and pasted it into the button.java. And we have some errors. That's not the. It's saying main activity is not the name of this class. So we're just going to rename it to button. And everything's exactly the same. And again, we're in the button class. So again, we don't need a button because in our second view we don't have a button. So we're going to delete everything here. Delete everything from button to the semicolon. So that's all we wanted to do. We only want it to switch the view. But we don't want it to switch the view to the main screen we were just viewing. So we want it to display screen 2. We want it to go from here to here. Screen activity main to screen 2. So that's basically everything here. And you'll get these two warnings. You can delete the Android view.view and the Android.widget.button. So once you delete that, you'll be good. Okay, that's all for part 1. Next part, hopefully we'll be getting the button all set up and working, and we'll be able to switch views. I should be getting this video up the same day, later today. So, alright, I'll see you later, guys.